me a moment with your friend. I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast. Carl Gerard, Brooklyn Dre. J-Rob is in the building. How y'all doing?
What up?
What up? All right, Jess is off today. So we're going to touch on a few things. We got Aretha Franklin being surveilled for almost over 40 years. Kanye. That's all I got to say. And
just ain't know. She ducking that smoke.
She ducking the smoke from this Kanye thing.
Yeah, she ducking that smoke. Her genius is messing up, man.
Yeah. Big time.
Word.
And also, too, Dre brought this up, man, this whole Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix thing where they had to remove the LBGTQ alphabet thing off of the, move that tag off of the TV show.
I call them the acronym.
The acronym, Alphabet Boys. So, all right, we're going to jump right into it. So, the Aretha Franklin situation, guys. All right, y'all heard about this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
According to Rolling Stone, she was surveilled from 1967 to 2007 by the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
Wow.
They was collecting information, and they was using, according to Rolling Stone, false phone calls, surveillance, infiltration, and highly placed sources. So this is really not new news because they've been surveilling any type of black entertainer and things, especially during the times of the civil rights movement, because a lot of them was involved in different things. And, just to now have this come up, they have like a whole dossier, I'm quite sure, of people that they, that the FBI had tabs on. But according to this, it said Franklin's FBI file was first requested via the Freedom of Information Act on August 17th in 2018. And they said it's a 270-page long report. It says peppered with phrases like black extremists, pro-communist, hate America, radical, racial violence, and militant black power, and overflowing with suspicion about the singer, her work, and other activists and entertainers with whom she spent time. Any thoughts on this, guys?
It don't surprise me. Listen, J. Edgar Hoover Ben said that he wanted to try to stop a black messiah. So anything that's this counter or what they would consider, pro-black, they thought that was a sign for or somewhere where a black messiah could come out of. So yeah, any affluent black people, there was phones happening, wires happening, doing all type of surveillance on. It's gonna be more to come out.
Well, yeah, that's a fact. I mean,
that's a waste of taxpayers' money.
Yeah, it is.
So it's a waste of taxpayers' money. You're surveilling Aretha Franklin for, man. That's the most. She's gonna steal some recipes or something like that.
Nah, well, what they did was they were saying that
when she was young, she probably was around the militant type.
Well, yeah, that's what happened. They said that her work was on behalf of civil rights and her association with Martin Luther King Jr.
She stole the original recipe.
Oh, that's crazy, man. But she was saying that
that's the recipe for Sara Lee key lime pie. So
Sara Lee probably stole the recipe from her.
Yeah, from Maurice. Yeah, man.
So they said it was all about her association with Martin Luther King and Angela Davis and other social justice revolutionaries, and she became preoccupied. It became a preoccupation of the FBI with the singer's address, phone numbers, activities, and all was regularly tracked by agents. And this is all in the documents that they obtained from Rolling Stone. So this is nothing new. I mean, like when you look at it, they did the same with Sam Cooke, all these guys, man.
You said up until what year?
This is from 1967
What's the last year?
To 2007.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. They should have stopped that back in the 60s and the 70s, which I do understand what they were doing, because back then a lot of those big time artists and stuff like that, they didn't get on Front Street like back in Malcolm X and them and all that kind of stuff like that, but behind closed doors they were like, supporting them, So I understand. I'm not saying that it's right and it makes sense, but I understand.
Well, up to 2007.
2007 was ridiculous.
Yeah, that should have been on cruise control by then. How much more damage are you going to do in 2007?
I should have stopped that at the Freeway of Love, man.
That's crazy.
But these are the same. What throws me is that these are the same people that they, love and revere, and You know what I mean? And meanwhile, the back door is that y'all surveilling her. You know what I mean? She's singing. This is the same person that's singing at like inaugurations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they might have had something on her. Like,
yeah, like it's the same thing that the same person that's doing all of this stuff. So it's crazy, but it's 270 pages, and they were saying too that that's not the only person that they have. Of course, they did like, what's the guy? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank of this guy, man. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan.
I don't know about Bob. They might have needed to investigate him. Bob had a sick mind, man.
They had
some stuff on
Gaye.
Bob. Bob was a little sick, man.
Yeah, they had a bunch of them.
Bob might have been a communist, man. That's one I might have agreed with. Bob has some sick thoughts, man.
Yeah, man. They have files on all of these cats, but if you go on there to the Rolling Stone article, and I'm gonna try to link it into the description, they were telling you that they had stuff on Ron Gibbs, Whitney Houston, Big, John Denver, the dude from the Monkees, the Monkees singing group. They have stuff all on him. So like they have a bunch of people in the dossiers and stuff.
But in them 60s, man, a lot of times, a lot of those artists were, man, like communists and all kind of weird stuff like that. And they was really into them radical organizations. So, I mean, I understood some of it, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I don't back the FBI or the CIA and nothing they do, but I'm just saying, from their perspective, they look like a problem, you know what I mean? But come on, Aretha Franklin
on Brando.
That's ridiculous.
Aretha Franklin in the 2007, Aretha Franklin. The woman wasn't even healthy, man.
I wonder if they got something on Stevie.
Who?
Stevie Wonder, man.
It would surprise me. They probably got them on everybody.
Michael Jackson, definitely. Hands
Stevie
down.
would be the one that I would think so, man. Stevie kept his ear to the street. Stevie,
it's gonna come out.
There's no telling what Stevie got his hands into, man.
I'll tell you something, man. Michael Jackson told you, all I got to tell you is they don't really care about us.
Yeah, man.
You think they got a dossier on him? You know what I mean?
I think they definitely got something on Michael, man. Got something on Michael. They thought Michael was going to change the world. You know what it is? It's the influences, man. It's not really necessarily the what they're going to do, but these dudes are influencers, man. You know what I mean? They whole people. It's like they got their own religion almost. Not to say that I agree with it, but I'm saying like people believe in these people almost like they got like a cult following. You know what I mean? So anybody that got a cult following, you definitely gonna get. You're on the CIA's thing because you can move a multitude of people off of, foolishness. I mean, look how many people we got: the Madonnas, the Michael Jacksons, the
Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, the people crying at concerts. People been dead and gone. Elvis, been dead and gone, and people walking around here talking about Elvis a lot.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you really think that they're surveilling their heroes? You think they have dossiers on like Elvis and?
Yeah.
I mean, like say. I think with us is kind of like to J. Rob's point, man, is that they don't want the next black leader, the next influential black leader. You know what I mean? So do you think that dossier on them is just as thick it is on maybe a Tupac or somebody like that?
I think
absolutely not.
I think it's not the same with us, but they definitely watch it. I think Elvis in some ways was like the Eminem of his time. You know what I mean? I think they watch him to an extent. You know what I mean?
This guy's analogies.
Yeah, he was the Eminem of his time, man. You know what I mean?
Appropriated the black culture and turned it into his own, huh?
Yeah. Look at Eminem right now. You know what I mean? When we first, when we used to listen to music back in the days, I'm not saying that his music was that soulful, but it was definitely like a hip hop kind of vibe. And what was it like back in? I think the last time I probably really listened to Eminem was
Renegade.
10 years ago? Or whatever the case may be. And then you started seeing that his music was hip hop, but it had like a rock vibe to the back of it. You know what I mean? So it turned into like rock music, man. And a lot of their artists do that stuff like that. Pink was like that. I remember when Pink first came out, she was like a white version of Mary J. Blige. You know what I mean? Later on, you couldn't tell Pink from Gwen Stefani or, any of these other rock groups or whatever, So, they get in, get our soul, get the soul music in, and then they switch over and do what they got to do. So.
But yeah, so I encourage everybody to check this out, man. It's just bugged out that they had that surveillance on it that long, and nobody's really talking about it. You know what I mean?
So leave the queen alone, man. That lady, let her rest in peace, man. Well, I mean,
well, she's done. Yeah, so
whatever she's done. Yeah,
she's done. It's nothing you can do about that. All right, but speaking of co-following, because Jess ain't here
There
right
we
now.
go.
Yeah, we might have to circle back to this conversation too when she come back.
Yeah, she ducking the smoke.
Yeah, she
talking about he's a genius.
Mr. Genius.
He's a genius
with the White Lives Matter situation. Man.
He's a goofball. I told you he's been a goofball for a long time.
Wow.
You know, and to her credit, we had this conversation, you know, offline, man, and she said that every time that she give him some credit, then he do something like this.
This is the problem, man. He don't deserve it.
Let's go back to that Confederate flag thing we was talking about last time.
Right.
You know, the funny thing about that, man, is that when you have money, people are willing to accept your foolishness. If I don't know, you take a guy that fell off, you know, any artist that fell off. If they woke up tomorrow morning and tell you to create some sort of clothing line with a Confederate flag on it, or wore White Lives Matter, you would kill him. You would murder him in the press. But because he got $1 billion, you know, behind his name, you know, people sit there and say, you know, this makes sense. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, and they said Sharon Osbourne now is requesting a refund from BLM.
You know what's sad? You know, and we'll get into that, but you know what's sad about that?
Yeah.
Is that I said this. I think me and J-Rob were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was saying, I was thinking about who I was talking to, but it was you. And I was like, yo, you know, there's people who, what do we call them? Oh man, allies. There's white allies that we have. They like Sharon Osbourne probably put money in the Black Lives Matter, figuring things she's gonna do something, whatever the case may be. And I ain't a big fan of her either. I heard her do some crazy garbage over the years too, but she put money into Black Lives Matter, whatever the case may be. Let's say, for instance, she had a good heart towards what she was doing or whatever, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm a big fan of Black Lives Matter, but I like the slogan. You know what I mean?
And the well-meaningful people that's in the organization that's doing the right thing.
I mean, I think there were some well-meaningful people in the beginning.
It all starts out like that.
But I think it got corrupted to where certain people were getting rich and nothing was being done.
Yeah. And you know, that's the thing, is that's where any organization, if you went back even to the Black Panthers even, you know what I mean?
Man,
you know,
most churches start out like that, where people have good intentions, man. You know, plan to do some good work, and then all of a sudden, you know, once that money get into play, everybody start getting fugazi in the head, man. That's really what it is, you know. So again, like I said, with the people like her being an ally, Sharon Osbourne, you know, now you have when he puts on that shirt, White Lives Matter or whatever the case may be. Now you got people who were probably looking at the situation of police brutality and all the other stuff like that, and they're saying, well, if he's their spokesman and he don't have a problem with it, he's making light of it, then it's not that serious of a situation. Even so much so as with her checkered past of saying some crazy things in the past, Sharon Osbourne has the guts to say, yo, I want my money back.
I mean, she should be the last one to say she wants some money back. Right. But I know there are some people that actually contributed to this thing that are not well off, that they should receive a refund because nothing was done in their communities. Like, nothing has changed.
Right.
So I think his initial point, him and I mean, the whole thing is all messed up. What's the chick named Candace Owens?
Oh yeah. Candace Owens had it on.
Yeah, anything you're doing with that weirdo is something crazy, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm one of them people that's objective. There's some things that she can say that makes actual sense. There's some things that he says that make actual sense. But when them two nuts get together and put on a White Lives Matter shirt, it's absolutely ridiculous, man.
So this is what Kanye said on his feelings on Black Lives Matter on Instagram on Tuesday. He wrote that everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome.
I had some truth to the organization. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him calling out the organization. I have a problem with him calling out the slogan. The slogan meant something. You know what I mean? The slogan was a definite. It was a definite something
it was something that the whole world took notice of, to where they were actually protesting the lives and the treatment of Black people all over this world. But it's just crazy that somebody that actually has influence on a platform to actually make a statement will go out there and make such a counter-cultural statement, like by wearing that shirt. Like, he should be banned from our community, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to ask y'all thoughts on this. Like, where do we go from here, man? Like, you know, I know Jess' whole argument about the whole genius argument, and I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak for her. You give me a second,
after this, we should go ahead and just ban his whole clothing. Like, yo, dog, you don't stand with us. We're not going to support you economically, because that's what you seem to understand.
Well, I got my thoughts on that too, but you know, I don't want to speak for her. You know, but I'm just recapping what she.
Let me tell you what's going to happen.
One second, man. Like, her genius defense was, he was, you know, he's a genius musically. He's a genius business wise. He's a genius all that. So when does that get negated by the fact that he can openly disrespect the black community by performing a stunt like this? And even going back to our other conversation about this matter, when J. Rob was talking about the shoes, I just seen a few people walking around with those, like you said, the jailhouse slides on. You know what I mean?
What does he
should be now?
What does he have to do?
It's the biggest consumers of those things.
It should be now.
Right.
The community should actually take notice that he's a sucker and stop supporting him.
Yeah, like, what does he have to do? I mean, what's crazy is that we've gotten this far with him. And even to this day, I hear people the other day talking about, you know, well, he's trying to bring attention to it and trying to find a way to make it make sense and, you know, what he's doing. I mean, what does the dude have to do? And like we were talking about before in the other conversation, what do you have to do to be considered a sellout?
Yeah.
What exactly do you have to do? There's no such thing as a sellout.
This is what you have to do. He's done it.
Yeah,
so we should take note. We should take notice. Didn't the great Maya Angelou say, "When somebody show you who they are, believe them"? Mm-hmm. We believe you, Kanye. You a sucker. You a coon. And we not messing with you no more. We don't support you.
We not right, but you
I've been got off the train.
Yeah, I'm kidding about Kanye West. I'll be honest with you. I'm just bringing this up because it actually is to the point of, like you said, cult followings. You have a lot of influence on these young people and things like that. And this is a whole generation that's looking at this. You know what I mean? And so
it's the same philosophy they all got, man. It's the bag. If you got the bag, you can do whatever you want to do. It's no longer like you held to some sort of standard. You know, as long as you got a few dollars, you can say whatever you want to say.
You think
the dude put out slave shoes. No, I don't. Honestly speaking, I don't believe nothing's gonna happen to him. I don't believe nothing's going to happen. I believe what's going to happen is he did this little stupid thing, and then what's going to happen is it'll fade out or whatever the case may be. And then in a couple of weeks, people will be saying, oh, yeah, he's a genius. He's intelligent. They'll be back on the same page. And then another week from now, you'll see him in blackface or something like that. And people are trying to explain like how that makes sense or something. He'll be doing this Sambo. He'll probably be a Sambo on the album cover or something like that. People be trying to make sense of that. Oh, he's so artistic and he's bringing attention to, you know, slavery. Something stupid, man. You know what I mean?
Let me circle back to Sharon Osbourne, though. $900,000 refund based on what he did. Based on what he did.
She should get every dime back, man.
You think so? What do you think?
Everybody. I think she should be the last person to ask for it.
So when you should ask for some money back for the Black Lives Matter movement is when you keep seeing these kids getting killed in the street. Like, yo, like, damn, yeah, we want our money back because y'all ain't did nothing. But Sharon Osbourne, she can go ahead with that.
$900,000 just because he said it was a scam.
No, it is a scam.
But just because he said it, do you think that she should get it back for that? Or should she get it back
she shouldn't get it.
I mean, she's not getting it back.
She shouldn't get nothing back.
Yeah, but
me personally.
But if you're going to ask for a refund, ask for a real reason. Not for what Kanye did.
Yeah, but I would say because of the sliminess of the organization, I don't care who gave the money. I don't want none of them people to have I don't want none of them to live off the riches of what they got. So right. I think anybody, I don't care if you're Puerto Rican, black, white, whatever, I think everybody should get their money back. You know what I mean? But if you're sharing Osbourne with some of the checkered history that she has of certain things that she said, you know, as far as like people of color, you know, she should be the last person to ask for her money back. But I think everybody should get it back. It's my personal opinion.
That's your personal opinion. All right. So we're gonna close that subject out, and then, like I said, when Jess come back, then we can circle back to this conversation.
Yeah, stop ducking that smoke.
See where we go from there. You know what I mean?
She love Kanye.
She ducking that smoke.
Yeah,
her baby boy out here with his pants down. Out here cooning and buffooning, scratching and shaking and all kind of other stuff like that.
Clown. Only thing that's missing is the red nose.
The red nose. The red nose.
Well, we'll see. Now, Jeffrey Dahmer. We get from Kanye to Jeffrey Dahmer. So I personally am not watching this thing on Netflix.
Me either.
It's called.
I ain't watching that.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. Yeah. But we was discussing this earlier about how Netflix had to change the category of the movie.
Yeah.
From, it's like, you know, they have like in the categories they have like a movie is geared towards the LGBTQ community or whatever the case is. And because Jeffrey Dahmer is a serial killer and targeted that community, I guess they don't want to claim him now.
No, you get own your own, man. Like it's like us. We can't get rid of Alpo and DC Sniper. That's ours. They ours. We can't get rid of them. Those are our people, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, not to say that I don't claim them as my personal friends or whatever like that, but these people of color.
Who would you rather hang out with? The DC Sniper or Jeffrey Dahmer?
Perfectly honest with you, man. It's a tough one, but I got to go with the DC Sniper. It's a tough one, man. Yeah, I got to go with the DC Sniper, man. Yeah, man. I don't end up in nobody's refrigerator, man.
Yeah, I mean, just off of principle, like I can't watch this, man.
Oh man, listen,
I'm not watching this, man.
And I think Netflix ought to be in trouble too, man. Because every time I turn on my Netflix and watching a movie, I fall asleep and wake up, and then you know how it switches into the next movie, and then Dahmer's on. They're trying to force it on you, man.
They put a whole lot of ad revenue into getting that.
And they're also saying too that according to Yahoo, that the Dahmer series is re-traumatizing Milwaukee's Black LBGTQ community.
Man, listen, so the people that it should be traumatizing is the people that he killed. Family members killed. I wonder if they getting a check from this. You know what I mean?
Anytime you make some type of life movie that actually was based off of real life events, you could say it's traumatizing. I just think it's traumatizing because they keep putting so much ad revenue into it. Like Andre said, we be sitting there watching a movie on Netflix, and as soon as it go off, here come this Dahmer thing. Yeah,
no matter what you're watching, man. I'm trying to give me some. I think I was on Marvel the other day, man, or something. I don't know, whatever. Watching a good movie or whatever the case may be, and I fell asleep. When I woke up, this garbage is on. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's disgusting too.
So the movie just automatically went into the Dahmer series?
Yeah, it goes into the next joint or the advertisement or whatever like that, and then they wonder why
they play you like a quick 5 minutes.
They're saying that it's so successful. It's successful because you're forcing people to watch. You know
people
what I mean?
just have this obsession with true crime stories, I guess, like this. Man.
I mean, I actually seen the real documentary, you know, but I ain't watching this. I'm cool.
No, if you just heard the actual story, you know what I mean, then there's really no need for you to watch it unless you into this type of stuff. And if you are, then I got a few questions for you, man.
Quickest way for me to not get to watch a movie is to see a man kissing another man. That's it. It's over for me.
And then eating them.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Nobody wants to see that.
Then you're going to eat them too? Oh, man, that's double trouble for you. You can cancel the whole flick for me. I'll never watch it.
And a lot of people are saying that too. Now, speaking of re-traumatizing, ourselves here, Will Smith is playing a slave, y'all. Did y'all know that?
No, I ain't know that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the movie's called Emancipation, and they already shot it and all, so that's getting ready to come out. And he's going to play a slave, I believe, named Peter, who's running across Louisiana for his freedom.
What y'all think about these slave flicks, man?
It's re-traumatizing to the black community, just like
exactly, exactly.
So, I don't think we need one every 2 seconds.
I'm a sicko, man. I be thinking to myself, like, with these slave flicks, also with these you know how you go around the country and you see like these slave posts and you see like these, the beating posts and stuff like that. They used to beat slaves on in the auction blocks and all that stuff like that. Like, I don't want none of it. I mean, I understand and respect the history of it, but I always think like racist white folk walk by and like, yes.
Yeah. This is my thing, right? there is so much more history of our people that didn't start with slavery. So, like, if you're gonna tell a story at this point, tell some other stories.
I always
You know what I
think,
mean?
I always think like they sit at them beating posts and just stay there and break down and cry, fam.
Yeah.
when America was America, let's make it great again.
So yeah, this
But no,
story here is gonna be on Apple Plus TV, man. And again, it's about the story of a guy named Peter who escapes from slavery, relying on his wits and unwavering faith and deep love for his family to evade cold-blooded hunters
Come
in
on,
the unforgiving
Fresh,
swamps of Louisiana on his quest for freedom. Now, let me tell you something.
Come on, Fresh.
Yeah, come on, Fresh. Come back home. See, one slap can change the course of human history. But yo, what happens is with this, when you have these slave movies, man, and they call it, it's historical fiction. You know what I mean? So to the average person who's not going to read the books or anything like that or do any research, this is historical facts to those people. So like, for instance, the Harriet Tubman movie. Everybody had the controversy about the chick playing Harriet Tubman. All right. Well, in the movie, they had like bounty hunters and stuff that was after her and all of that. And that stuff didn't happen. You know what I mean? But if I didn't know any better and right. I'm a kid in third grade and I'm writing a book report, what am I going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're taking it as fact.
I'm taking it as fact. So that's the thing when I look at a lot of these movies where it's like it's all historical fiction. I think the only one that you might have seen some type of realism in was the brother Nate Parker when he did the
12 Years a Slave.
No, not 12 Years a Slave. This one was the Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation, yeah. And you see how quick they shut Nate Parker down, man. So bringing rape charges and stuff. So that probably was the most historical fact that you've seen. Like, you ever see that movie, man, when they was like knocking the teeth out slaves and all that stuff like that? I ain't never seen nothing done like that in a movie before, man. You know what I mean? To show that type of depiction of it. So
it's real traumatizing.
It's traumatizing. Yeah, it's real traumatizing. But I remember Dick Gregory saying some years ago before he died, he was like that Hollywood, when they asked him about the whole slave movie craze, man, the whole genre of movies, he said that Hollywood has a bunch of these lined up. He was like, that you didn't see yet. He said, this is the new wave. And he said that years ago before he died.
Because it changes your mindset of who you are, right? That goes back to that 3/5 of a man thing. If you don't think that you come from anything and you think that slavery is the beginning, then whatever you get now in this life is a come up. You know what I'm saying? So it's mental manipulation.
Yeah, and then also too, man, like, I mean, there's so many tragedies throughout the world, you know what I mean? And again, this is why I say, I don't know. I think it's a double meaning with the movies. I understand that we need to get history. We need to understand some history, but I've never seen.
Can we get something else?
Well, that's
we so much more than when they got over here and, was doing that transatlantic slave period. We so much more than that.
Yeah.
So tell some other stories.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, you don't see them, like, oversaturating you with the Holocaust like that. Don't get me wrong. The Jews definitely make sure that that, they went through something in the Holocaust. You know what I mean? That's plastered to you, but it's never done like this.
I think Schindler's List was probably like the last and only biggest thing you're going to see like depicted at the Holocaust. I could be wrong.
They got some movies. They got a lot of movies, man.
But like they always revert back to that to say, well, check out Schindler's List, you know what I mean? And tell me what you think about that. But I agree with you, J-Rob. We got so many like black inventors, the movie The Banker with Anthony Mackie and Sam Jackson. If you never seen that movie, that's a good movie to watch, The Banker. You know what I mean? Yeah. But because it was so shrouded in all type of controversy, it never got released on time. You know what I mean? So they put it on. It was supposed to be in the movies, but they put it on like Apple Plus or something like that. Very good movie, man.
His mom should have never sent him to his auntie and uncle in Bel Air, man. Should have stayed in Philly, man. He'd have been all right, man.
That's okay, my man. Fresh. Do you think this to come back to him, man? Is he trying to do apology to him?
Man.
Listen, I think
Jada got his life flipped upside down.
I think this right here for him is a low.
It's a step. I mean? Yeah, it's a step back.
It's a step down. Like a man, you $100 million. You was $100 million movie guy. Now they got you playing a slave.
And not to mention, you got the money, man. He has the money to do his own thing. You see that there's young guys like in the neighborhood. And you can watch these little YouTube films and whatever with these.
This
cameras.
Might be a humiliation ritual.
But he ain't gonna get no Oscar for this.
Oh man, if Jada ain't his humiliating Richard, I don't know.
No,
I don't know what it is. It gotta get worse than that.
Yeah, being a slave.
He not getting no Oscar for this. He's not eligible for it. So even if he gives a performance that's a lifetime, you're not getting nothing out of it.
And watch him knocking out the box. You be like, well, just think of that. He deserve an Oscar, but he ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, man. You gonna watch it?
No. I'll tell you that right now, man. I told you I've been messed up with Will Smith movies ever since Jada played him out, man. I can't do it. I can't watch none of his films, man. I look different. I look at them differently now, man.
But no, I ain't watching that.
Only thing I probably could watch is Ali, because he did Ali so well. I think of Ali. I don't think of Will Smith.
What about the King Richard joint? Watch that.
Yeah,
I didn't do that.
What you think
King, that movie is all that, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is.
That's where I got off.
I can't even lie.
It was a good flick, man. It was. I
can't even lie. It brought a tear to my eye. I couldn't believe it.
I ain't going that far though.
Hey, man, listen, man. What he did for them little girls, man, in the midst of all that. In the midst of all that gag activity, man.
Applaud J. Rob's sensitivity. Hey, folks, this is what it sounds like when doves cry. Applaud this man.
He said it was about the kids, man. The kids.
It was about the kids.
Kids, man.
I mean, he brought them up in Compton. That's a big deal.
He didn't cry when Raymond died.
Nah. But when them gangbangers ran down on him when he was trying to teach the girls tennis, man.
Yo, that's funny.
It did something to me.
Yeah, they whooped him real quick, man. He just got up, dusted himself off. Get back out there,
That's
baby.
it. That's it. Don't even worry about it.
Got
I'm
whipped in
taking the
front of his
bullets for the whole
daughters.
team.
They banging on the glass like, Dad.
Listen, man. Pursuit of Happiness. Wild West. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I can't do none of it no more. I'm off, man.
Not even Bad Boys 1? Can you do Bad Boys 1?
You know what's sad is that I was actually forced in somehow watching in Bad Boys 2. Or what was the last one?
Bad Boys Forever.
Which was trash.
I can't get into it, man.
Which was trash, and I just can't do Will Smith no more, man. I'm done, man. I got off, man.
Well, ironically, man, that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake was based on like a YouTube joint some kid did.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, it is talent out there that he can go scoop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Will got behind that and made that thing really authentic. That's a great series. That's a great series.
Yeah, you was telling me that was good.
Yeah.
J-Bro was telling me that was good. I never seen it, man.
Yeah.
Great series. Put a whole new fresh twist on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a great series.
It's loosely based off his life, or
he said it's the real story. He said they had to water it down for the sitcom, so you get more of the real backstory, things that you didn't even know. Plus, I like the fact that me personally, I like the fact that the family was dark skinned. Yeah, I'm just being real, bro. I like to see dark skinned people on my television.
Listen, man. I just can't do none of it no more, man. I tell you, I never liked Pursuit of Happiness anyway. I read the book.
Come on, man. You ain't like Pursuit of Happiness.
I read the book, man. If you ever read the book, it's a lot of Fugazi, a little messy stuff up in there.
Yeah, I don't want to encourage you to.
Some Bambaataa stuff going on in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's real.
I don't know how you let somebody rape you, sit back and relax, and then they rape you again. And I don't know.
What?
Yeah, man. Something crazy. Something sick in that book, man.
Yeah.
The Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah.
I read the book.
Chris Gardner, yeah.
The inventor, Chris Gardner.
Yeah. This is the true story of that. What we got was the feel good story, you know what I mean? But the actual book is a lot of traumatizing stuff in there, man.
You stand in front of me, I'm gonna ask him some questions.
Oh man.
It's a little weird, man. I have to explain it to you off the mic, man.
But the movie was good. I like the movie. I don't know nothing about that.
All right, now I gotta ask you now, J. Rob. I gotta put you on the spot, brother. When he finally got the job, did you cry, man? You shed a tear for that one.
What happened?
When he finally got the job.
Nah. I ain't shed a tear for because of that. I actually shed a tear for the way he was bonding with his kid, doing everything for the kid. Like I was like, that touched me.
J. Rob loves
you know what I mean?
We love the kids, man.
Hey, man, you know, at a certain age, when you're comfortable with yourself, you know, you can express that. I ain't got no problem with it.
Nah, you're supposed to love the babies, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, it's all about the babies. You know what I mean? But when you watch that story, though, when you watch The Pursuit of Happiness, I know a lot of people back in the day were saying, you know, just based on the movie, was he a selfish dude, man? You got your kids sleeping in like the bathrooms. I'm not saying it to be funny, man, but they like, the kid is sleeping in the bathroom stall. You know, you got your foot against the door, people beating on the door, man. At what point do you say, man, I got to get my kid out these streets, man?
Man, he should have put that boy in the system and went out and tried to get him a job.
He held it down. You know, he held it down. And he had a dream, and he had a dream, and he worked that plan, and he went through that thing.
I read the books. I think he was saying like they would lock the door to bathrooms and sleep on bathroom floors and like train stations. I was like, oh, come on, man, come on, man.
That is a bit extreme, but when you're back against the wall, you know what I mean? It just showed a defiant human spirit. You know what I mean? He wouldn't fall.
Listen, man. You know, man, these new train stations, it's bad. In the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s.
With no cameras.
Jesus, man. What was going on in them train stations was different, man.
He was in San Francisco or something, wasn't he?
Oh, man.
He was in San Fran, right?
Yeah, I think he was in San Francisco.
Yeah,
well, that kind of explained everything that Joe was saying earlier, though, if he was in San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. He had some funny stories in there, man, about him going to some parties and all kind of weirdo stuff like that, man.
You didn't get it out off the mic.
Got to read the book, man.
Yeah,
I'm kind of sad I read the book, man, because I paid some money for some hot boy porn.
Oh, man.
I think that's what I was reading, man. You know, whenever I invest in something like that by accident, it upsets me, man.
Oh no. Yeah, man. You feel like you got a bad meal, right?
Yeah. Come on, boys.
I went to a 5-star restaurant and had a roach in my plate, man. I spent all this money.
Hey, man, I was disgusted with myself, man. I read the book. I said, oh, man.
Yeah.
Then when the movie came out, man, I was like, oh, no.
So, yeah, Fresh playing the slave, man. We finally got one. I never thought I would see him do that.
I don't put nothing past him. That's 6 degrees of separation. Man.
Oh, yeah. That's another joint.
He's getting in bed with another man nude. And,
yeah.
I always thought his career was a little weird, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, but
it is what it is, man. Fresh, man. Jada messed you up so bad, brother, man. You're doing all kinds of weird things, man. Go on back then. Where Fresh from? South Philly? West Philly?
He from Overbrook. Well, that's like West Philly.
Yeah, he need to come on back home, man. Sit on the stoop for a little while. Relax, man. Get it back together, man.
Do you think if this movie came out before the slap that, you know, people would have forgot all about that?
I don't know, man. Slap was special, man.
Yeah, I actually saw a T-shirt with the slap on it, man. I guess people are printing out T-shirts with this thing on it, man.
Yeah, but what about the fact that that's like a reenactment of a movie?
Go on, elaborate.
Speak on it, man. Yeah, elaborate.
Oh, yeah, y'all know about that? Oh. It's actually some type of TV show or something that has that exact same thing, and they kind of like reenacted it. It's real weird.
You know the name of the show?
I will tell you that the slap to me.
I don't know the name of the show. It was something I don't know. People know what people know of it. I'm sure if you looked it up, you'll see it.
You're saying it's fake?
Is beat for beat the same thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
You said it's fake?
Yeah. It's like a reenactment of a TV show.
It looked fake to me too, man. But I just
the consequences are very real.
Yeah, the consequences came with it. So I'm like,
is it though? Like, do we really know what's going on, or we just know what they tell us?
Well, I think Rock is supposed to be suing them or something.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's what they said.
Man, he ain't suing that, man.
You don't think so?
Nah. Let me tell you something, man. Chris Rock from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes, indeed.
If anybody come and smack you in your face, what you gonna do? Regardless of you on TV or not,
I'm going to hit you back.
You gonna at least you at least gonna throw your guard up, right?
And I'm not even gonna, I'm trying to live a better life, man. But I ain't come to that point yet where you can punch me and get away with it.
Exactly. So I'm sitting here with y'all when we say that, and you gonna tell me that was real?
I don't
So
know,
you think
man.
it's fake?
Yeah,
I don't know.
bro. I can't. Will Smith? Let's say Will Smith smacked this man, and he didn't even throw his guard up. He just ate it.
Let me tell you, only reason why I say I think I will think it's
If he
real.
smacked you, why you ain't know he was gonna come back with some more? You ain't thought you try to protect yourself or nothing. You just sat there.
Let me tell you why I think it. I might more agree with the fact that it might be real. Is that I don't know how he could look his children in the face.
Because he's an actor.
I would never look. Yeah, but I could understand if he was just doing it for a movie. But to portray that to the world and let you get slapped in front of your child.
Chris Rock was pooky, bro. How much lower can you go?
Yeah, but that's acting. You could walk out of a movie theater and say, "Yo, that's just acting." You know what I mean? But to say that you let a man slap you in your face and just walk off and look in your son's eyes and your daughter's eyes,
This is Will Smith. It was acting, but no. If you find that video that I'm talking about, that it was basically a reenactment, it might change your opinion on it.
I'm not saying that because the punching stuff did look a little weird, but I would say this, man, is that I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go back home to friends and family and just allow somebody to just punch me in my face and get away with it, and that kind of atmosphere, it just don't make sense to me.
I know who not in on a joke at all.
Who's that?
Tony Rock. Tony Rock is real.
Tony Rock said he want to smoke, but
Tony Rock don't want no smoke, man.
Well, I mean, I would say this with Will, is that, Will is a big boy, man. I mean, he done did some fugazi things over his career, but, he do look like how to throw them hands. I don't know, man.
He be done putting knuckles all on Tony Rock.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, man, I ain't never seen Tony Rock throw a punch, so you might be right.
All right, y'all. We're going to get ready to wrap up out of here, man. Yeah, so covered a lot of ground this morning, gentlemen. So definitely got to circle back to this whole Kanye thing.
Yeah, he's stuck in that smoke.
Yeah, so just
wherever you're hiding at, we got it.
We wouldn't know what you think of your king.
Yeah. This your champion.
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
The Only One Mic podcast is available on all major platforms that you stream your podcasts on. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on the past and current episodes. And don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. Subscribe. You got any messages for that, Dre?
Yeah, man. If you need some help, or you need your rent paid, or if your rent have gotten paid in the past, or I chipped in on some diapers, or I did some things for
Fix
you.
the car or something.
Fix your car, whatever I did for you. If you ain't subscribed yet, don't get all jacked up. Don't get twisted up in this earth.
All right, you can
it's gonna be hard to get that commissary.
Right. You can check us out on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mic Podcast, and catch us. You can email us too, theonlyonemic00@gmail.com, and there you can leave your comments and thoughts and all that good stuff. We thank you once again for your time and encourage you to speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. So until next time, please keep in mind that we never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, so we shouldn't have to run from a black man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.